after high school, it was the first time that I was able to choose where I wanted to go next. Every single time I moved, it was just me being told by my dad, hey guys, we're moving, so pick up your bags and let's go. My name's ohyeah, and if you're watching this and you want to tell me that you know another ohyeah, please comment down below. Like, oh my god, she did it again. And I'm like, what? Hi guys, welcome to another video. My name's ohyeah and I'm aspiring to be a better person. If you've never seen my face before, I want to keep saying it, go ahead and click the big red button and subscribe to this channel, and you'll get to see my face every Tuesday and Sunday when I upload a video. Last Tuesday I put up a video talking about the Cameroonian tag with my brother, and during the video I mentioned how I live in many different countries. I told you guys if you want to hear about it, let me know, and a bunch of you shot me messages saying, hey, we want to hear about it. So here I am today to tell you guys a little bit about my life story, how things went down, what countries I lived in, how I experienced it, so on and so forth. So as you already know, since I did Cameroonian tag, I'm Cameroonian. I was born in Cameroon, but I only lived there for 2 years until I moved to Chad with my mom, dad, and my brother because my dad's a doctor and he was working there. So we moved there for about a year. Then I came back to Cameroon where I lived for 2 years. I did my first 2 years of primary school, nursery 1, nursery 2 in Cameroon. Then my parents were like, you know what, no, let's go to Haiti. So I went to Haiti for about a year where I didn't go to school. Honestly, the only thing education I ever learned in Haiti was how to write my name because my mom taught me. Aside from that, I was chilling, laying on the beach all day, chilling with my neighbor. It was just chilling good times until my parents was like, you know what, enough of this chilling, these kids need to go back to school. So then we moved to Mali, which is in West Africa, where I lived for 4 years, and that was the first time that I actually went to an international school. I did 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade in Mali. It was, once again, the first time I was in an international school, being in a classroom with about 20 kids with like 8 to 9, 10 different nationalities in a room. It was a very different experience. But then after that, my parents took us to Angola, where I lived for a year. I did 5th grade there, and it was the first time that I actually moved to a Portuguese-speaking country, a Lusophone country. Because prior to that, I was always in French or English-speaking countries, and I was exposed to a very different culture for the first time. I really enjoyed it, and thankfully my parents then had us move to Mozambique, which once again was a Lusophone country, so I was able to continue, you know, living in the Portuguese culture, learning the Portuguese language. So I spent 4 years in Mozambique, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, and I must say that Mozambique has got to be one of the countries that marked me the most, mainly because I spent a lot of time there, but also it was those formative years of middle school, beginning of high school, teenagehood, you know, getting to know yourself, your body, what you want to a certain extent, almost, you know. But after 9th grade in Mozambique, we moved to Madagascar, where I finished my high school career. I was there for 3 years, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. I graduated in Madagascar. I was still again in an international school. It was a lot smaller, so the vibe was very different. It was back in a French-speaking country, so that's where I was able to get back in touch with French and like the French culture. It was a great experience. Madagascar has got to be one of the places that whenever I meet anybody and I tell them about Madagascar, I always say, if you're watching this right now, if you get the chance to go to Madagascar, seize it. It's a beautiful country. The people are beautiful. It's just somewhere that everybody in this world needs to go, and watching the movie doesn't count because it's nothing like that. But after high school, it was the first time that I was able to choose where I wanted to go next. Because prior to that, all these countries I was in, Cameroon, Chad, Haiti, Mali, Mozambique, Angola, Madagascar, 7 different countries. Every single time I moved, it was just me being told by my dad, hey guys, we're moving, so pick up your bags and let's go. I had no say into where I was going, when I was going. I was just told, girl, we're leaving at the end of this year, so you better get ready, tell your friends bye, and that's it. But for the first time, I was able to choose where I wanted to go, and I chose to come to Canada. And when I came to Canada, the experience so far has been wonderful, but it also made me realize how much of an effect living in these different countries had on me. But it also made me realize, yo, ohyeah, you're a third culture kid. And I was sitting in my room yesterday and I realized I want to talk more about being a third culture kid, and coming here made me realize the struggles that come with having this name, this label of being a third culture kid. And that's what I'd like to talk to you guys about. Namely, first of all, my name's ohyeah, and if you're watching this and you want to tell me that you know another ohyeah, please comment down below, because I want to meet her too, because guess what, I've been looking for her for a long time. So having a name that is uncommon comes with people not ever being able to say my name. I'm telling you, when I was growing up, I dreaded the first day of class, or having teachers who loved, for some reason, to read all names of students in the class every single day. every single day. I couldn't stand it. I'd always just sit there, and depending on whether they went by last or first name, I'd be waiting because my last name starts with an N. It go L. Okay. Then it goes M. All the M names pass. So when it goes to N, and I see the teacher look at the paper like this, I'm like, it's me, teacher, it's me. Because I didn't want to have them read out my name and have this awkward conversation about, oh, how do you say it, blah, blah, blah. I didn't want to bring attention to myself. And once I came here, I was like, you know what? No. If Madame Jennifer can say Samantha Samuel and is it Sarah, she can say Ofwali. No, honestly. And the thing is, I realized the only reason that people can't say my name but on the first call, and it's okay, is because they're not used to it. You're used to hearing Sam, Samantha, Samuel. But guess what? The first time you said Sam, Samantha, or Samuel, you could not say it. You had to learn. So if you could learn those three, you can also learn Ofwali. It may take you a while, but today when I sit or I meet someone and they say my name and they mispronounce it, guess what? We're going to work on it, and we're going to work on it live. I don't care if there's 100 other names you're going to have to read, but you're going to say my name as well as you said the name before mine or the name after, because I deserve that amount of respect. As much as I'm not going to be, if you tell me your name is Professor John, I say, can I call you Jeremy? No, that's not how it works. So that's part of one of the struggles of being a third culture kid. But on top of that, I have like 4 to 5 different accents. Depending on who I'm with, where I am, my accent changes. And also, I learned this in class this week. So my professor who taught me this, if you're seeing this, shout out for teaching me this. I also do this thing which is called intersentential code switching. What that is that in a sentence, you go from one language to another. That's to say, the other day I was in the metro et je vais pas croire ce qui s'est passé. This guy came up to me and he was like, hey shawty. So basically I went from English to French back to English, and that's something I do on a daily basis with anybody. The thing about having so many accents is that when I came here, not many people are used to having people switching up on them. I was always able to do it with my brothers and sisters because we're at home. They live in the same cultures as me. So when I switch from a South African to a British to an American accent in English, or from a Cameroonian to I don't know, Malagasy accent in French, they understand what's happening. But when I do it here, like, oh my god, she did it again. And I'm like, what? I've turned into, to certain people, into a circus act. And the thing with that is that I don't always feel free talking to people, because naturally I would be code switching and also switching my accent when I'm speaking with someone. But because I know that not everybody will understand me, I can't feel free all the time when I speak, if you get what I mean. And it's one of the struggles, but it's also one of the beauties, because I'm able to understand people from different cultures because I connect with them, because I know where they're coming from, and hearing their accent, like, hey, you're from here, or hey, you're from there. They're always like, how do you know? I'm like, I live there, or I've been exposed to that culture. On top of people not being able to say my name, I have notes, by the way, because I just didn't want to sidetrack. People not being able to say my name or having this different accents. When people ask me, the big question that people ask one another when they meet, where are you from? I'm always like, here we go. And the thing is, there's actually a funny story to this. After my first year in university, I went to Madagascar for about a month, and that summer my family moved to Zambia. So now they live in Zambia, and that's why you're always seeing vlogs in Zambia, because my family has moved to Zambia. But once I got to Zambia and I meet new people, they're like, oh, hello, where are you from? I'd be like, oh, so what do you mean by where am I from? Are you asking me where did I just come from? Because I just got off a plane from Madagascar, but I actually live in Canada, but I'm from Cameroon. So it's just, every single time someone asks me, it's like, oh, well, what do I say now? But right now, to be honest, to keep it short and sweet, I just always say I'm Cameroonian. Like, you know, I don't want to get too into it. And if people do want to know, sometimes I'll even ask, but where's your home? And that's even a little bit worse for me, because to me, home is where my family is. Moving all these different times, the only thing that stayed constant for me was where my parents and my brothers and sisters were. My nuclear family was the only thing that was a constant in all these different countries. To me, home is where those 5 other people are. Right now they're in Zambia, so if you ask me where's home, I'm going to tell you home is Zambia. But in 2-3 years, home may be in Lesotho, in Namibia, who knows, in China, in New York City. It's always changing. So those questions are hard for third culture kids, for people like me. Being a third culture kid, I have bits and pieces from different cultures, but at the same time, I don't belong fully to the culture that I'm from. That's to say, Cameroonian. An example is that when I go back home, I unfortunately don't speak the Cameroonian languages. Oh, hold up. As I was saying before we were interrupted, when I go back home to Cameroon, I don't speak the languages, the dialects that are in Cameroon. I speak English and French, but when I go to my mom and my father's villages, I don't speak like the people. And as a result of that, I feel isolated. The thing is, languages are the vehicle for cultures. And when you can't speak a language, you can't live a culture. You can't experience a culture fully. And so I'm sitting in the village, and there's people around me who are trying to have conversations, but I can't understand them. So maybe an old auntie or something will come up to me, not knowing that I don't speak, or thinking I speak a little bit, and go on a monologue for like 5 minutes, and the whole time I'm just there like, I still don't understand you though. But I mean, and it's truly a bummer, because I wish I could understand. I could connect more with my family, because a lot of my family, I don't really know them. Why? Because I can't communicate with them, and it's really a bummer. I don't really fit in anywhere, because I may have lived in Madagascar or Mozambique for a number of years, but I'm not Mozambican. I understand the culture, but only to a certain extent. And as a result, I don't fit in anywhere. People will always say, you're not, like, I'll tell people I'm Cameroonian when I'm in Cameroon, but the way I behave, the way I speak is not like everybody else. So people, when I tell them that I'm Cameroonian, they're like, but you're different. There's something different about you. And I'm like, what? They figured, like, I mean, they sniffed me out once again. And the reason why people feel that way is because I don't see things in the same way. And the funny thing is, being a third culture kid, it's harder for me to become friends with people that are from one of the cultures I'm from. That's to say, the culture I'm from, because I'm only Cameroonian. From like someone that's Cameroonian, it's a lot harder for me, because I see things very differently from them. They expect a certain number of things from me that I can't bring up to the plate. They expect me to be able to cook all these dishes when I'm like, I can cook some, but I can't cook all. They're like, you're not really Cameroonian. You know, being always confronted with the idea of you're not fully, you know, people always telling you, mais tu n'es pas un vrai Camerounais, tu n'es pas un vrai Camerounais. Regardez, un made in China, regardez le chinois, le faux truc, regardez le moins cher, things like that, you know. So having to deal with that, I don't really connect with Cameroonians fully, but I do connect more with people who are from the cultures that are not mine, but that I grew up in. Zambians, Mozambicans, things like that, because I can assimilate to their culture to a certain extent, but I don't have to live up to their standards, because at the end of the day, they understand that I'm not from there, you know what I mean? But I've told you guys about the different struggles or whatever, but being here, it's also taught me that being a third culture kid may come with these difficulties, which I don't really see them as difficulties, to be very honest, but there's more amazing things to it. For example, I listen to more Angolan, Mozambican, basically Portuguese music than I listen to English music. I only listen to Afro beats. It's actually really sad, but that's okay. I don't really listen to Cameroonian music. I can listen to music from anywhere and love it. Just because I'm so open to different cultures. I've experienced so many different cultures. Food to me is like a give me any, like I'm down to try new things. I love to eat different things. I also love language, and that's why today I'm able to study translation. When I was applying to come to university, I was sitting in front of the computers, because we had to figure out what do you want to study, of course. That's the first step to coming to university. And I was thinking to myself, Father, what can you do? And one thing that I was able to do living in all these different countries is learning different languages, and I was able to do it very well. So I was like, you know what? Use this. Don't just learn all these languages and then throw them away, go to university and study something like business or something. And also, I didn't want to do things like everybody else. I was like, you know what? Study translation. So here I am today in Montreal, in Canada, studying translation, and then that's thanks to having been able to live in all these different countries and learn these different cultures and languages and appreciate the beauty of them. But on top of that, I have friends all over the world, and I'm so grateful for every single one of them. If you're watching this and you're someone I've met throughout the course of living in different countries, thank you for the different experiences you gave me, or just, hi, how are you doing? But just the opportunity to meet people from all around the world. I have WhatsApp groups with my girls from high school. They're all over the world, and just being able to connect with different people is truly beautiful, because that's a part of being human, you know what I mean? And on top of that, having had to always move all the time, one day I'm here, the next I'm there, it's made me I'm able to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations. I'm not bothered by being uncomfortable. If you told me today, if you need to move to China, granted I'd be bummed. I'd be like, hey, come on, man, do I have to? But I'd be able to adapt because I've had to do it my whole life. You know what I mean? Like, being a third culture kid, I connect with people and not places. That's to say, when I go to a new place, I connect with the people that I have experiences with, and I'm grateful for all the experiences that I've had. I really feel like being a third culture kid it's a beautiful thing, especially in a world that's being completely globalized. We live in a world of globalization where everybody wants to learn about new cultures. We're moving forward. We're constantly looking for new things in different cultures, how we can bring things from other cultures into ours, and how we can help other cultures with things from ours. And having been exposed to that from a very young age, I have the ability to do that, and it's a beautiful thing, I have to say. I've been ranting for a long time now, and I think you're tired of seeing me. But if you're a third culture kid, please comment down below. I like to get to know you, hear different experiences you've had, different ways people have pronounced your name, because I know you've got stories to tell me. But last but not least, my name's ohyeah, and I'm aspiring to be a better person. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel if you enjoyed this video. Bye guys!